guys, so our wastegate came back. That came back. Our part came in, right? So we're just gonna replace this wastegate. So what we're gonna do first is I think it's just pretty straightforward. I think the challenge part is removing the bolt, but I think it's accessible. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just remove this heat shield because we're gonna access the C-clip inside for the rod. And what else? I think okay, let's do this first. Let's remove this and then we'll see if we have to remove our airbags assembly. This guy here. Out. So our C-clip that holds the rod is under here. So I'm just gonna turn that and we're gonna pull it. I think I made a video for our Santa Fe, so just be careful on that. I always ordered a new clip because you'll never know if this guy will fall. Oh. Oh. Okay. So it fell on the ground. I'm gonna deal with that later. So we can remove this guy here, and then we're gonna remove all 10mm bolts there for our mounting for the wastegate. So I think how many are there? 1, 2, 3. So there's only 3. Oy. 3. I hope. Okay, there's a connector, so I have to remove that connector. I should have done that before, but it's okay. So it's accessible. Just have to go around with your arm. Is it? Or go down? Okay. So I took it out from the bottom. Here's our old one. So here's a new one. Usually they come pre-adjusted already, but just to make sure, just compare the thread in here, right? As I can see right now, the thread here compared to the new one, look at that. It's the new one, it's a little bit longer, but I know that they're pre-adjusted. So what I'm thinking right now is this guy here at the bottom too, on our adjustment, the shorter compared to this old one here. So you can see that, because there's no spec on, I'm not aware there's gonna be adjustment on this G70s, but I'm gonna double check that to the service information if there's one, and if there's one we're gonna adjust it, but if not, I know that they come pre-adjusted. Okay guys, so I just went to our service information. So there's a adjustment, so we're just gonna double check our rod, because as it say here, you have to go to the adaptation value for the lower mechanical stop of electric wastegate, and it shows your coolant temp and what specified voltage is that. So if it's 50 to 60, you should have 3.6 to 3.8. If it's 30 to 40, 3.65 to 3.95, and below 25 it should be 3.7 to 3.9. So I'm gonna install first the wastegate, and then we're gonna turn on the vehicle, and then let's check if we're within spec or we have to adjust it. So we're just gonna install it in reverse order. As you can see here, there's a notch that's going on the side here on the manifold. So okay, I'm just gonna put our connector, and then we're gonna position our wastegate. So as you can see there, that's, and then you have to put this in, I think it's in close position, so all the way towards here.
Further. One more.
and then you just have to adjust your rod, put it in, don't put the clip first. Alright, and now I'm gonna hook up our scan tool and let's see what's the they call it adaptation value on the wastegate. Alright guys, so we're at water temperature at 30. So it says there at 30 to 50 or 40. Let me double check. So at 30 to 40 degrees water temperature, so your voltage should be at 3.7 and 3.9. So our concern is this guy, adaptation value for lower mechanical stop. It's right now it's riding at 3.9. So if you're gonna do this kind of job, we have to make sure we cycle the ignition on and off, right? I am not putting the clip in there yet, so I'm gonna cycle the ignition and then let's watch the data again. Let me just graph that so that it's easier for us to see, and then we're gonna see if it changes or it stays at 3.9. Okay, still staying at 3.9, so I'm gonna do a couple of ignition cycles. So ignition off for 5 seconds and then ignition on for 5 seconds again. So as you can see there, it adjusted. When it turns off, it goes down, right? Okay, so it's staying at 3.9. So I think that's good. So I guess it was a rod issue, like the length of it, it's wrong from our old what do you call that, from our old wastegate, right? So I'm just gonna put our C-clip and then we're gonna go for a test drive. Walang stock. Okay, so that's it guys. So I'm just gonna go for a drive and let's verify. and everything is working, no noise or anything, right? And that's it. Alright guys, so far we don't have a check engine light there, which is good. So I'm driving right now on the highway. I'm gonna try to do a hard acceleration. Okay, so far our pressures are good. So as per the code, the code trigger will be what do you call that? 2 trips. So far it's pulling good, it's accelerating good. So I think I'm just gonna drive again back to the shop, and you know what? I think I can scan for codes right now. So I'm just scanning for codes. Let's just double check if I don't have any codes there. So there's a history code right now. I think I didn't clear this in the previous one. I'm just gonna clear that. So yeah, we compared the new one, and the old one was, I think it was short, right? And then the new one, because what I know on this wastegate, I think they're pre-adjusted already. So I know that we went to our service information and there was an adjustment on that rod, right? So at least we know that. So always double check that, and you can always compare the old and the new one. But what I know on those wastegate, it's always pre-adjusted. We just have to double check it that they're within specs, and other than that, I think this car is fixed. So I'm just gonna deliver or let it go, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, on the replacement on the wastegate actuator on the G70 2-liter. And then I know there's not much of the diagnosis there because we went to a new car. The pressures are the same, right? That's about it. So I thank you for watching.